Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to another mommy
daughter
conversation. Yes, how are you guys doing? Sisi tuko salama. Before we start this conversation, it is only good for me to let you know that as we record the conversation today, this is also the same day that Mumbus is expecting her results. Yeah, so yes, we are feeling all sorts of things, but tuko sawa. Sindio mkamba? Able to know how you're feeling girl. Let me not speak for you.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm still good.
Yeah, so you're hoping for the best. It's only normal to feel like something, but we're hoping for the best. After this journey, we will go find out. Sindio mkamba? Anyway, guys, if you see us sitting down here, oh, machozi inatoka. Oh, mkamba wa mama. Oh, mkamba wa mama. You got this. You got this. What is the prayer that you've been reciting? What's the prayer? Let's say it together. Let's say it together. So, let's say it together. What's our prayer? Dear Lord.
Dear Lord.
You did what?
I did my best.
You did your best. So,
whatever marks I get.
You accept.
I accept.
And you are content. In Jesus' name?
Amen.
Sindio? Yes. Oh, Mumbus, you'll do very well. I have all the confidence in you. Sindio? Hiya. Do you take a short break?
Yes.
Then you come back? Okay, short break, guys, and then you come back. And we are back. High five, mkamba wa mama. Aha, twende kazi sasa.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. So if you see us sitting down here, you know we are not alone. We have, I don't want to say a guest. You now she's part of this family. She's a regular here now. She's a veteran on the mommy daughter set. Our favorite doctor in the world, Dr. K.
Oh my God. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh
thank you so much for coming to chat with us once more. We are always very excited to have you here. This is our third conversation.
Right.
Yes. And there are many more coming. I promised, by the way. I promised them from the first conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to have many, many more. And you see, I have kept my promise, have we not?
We have.
Yes. This is our third conversation. And this one has been a long time coming, Dr. Yes, it is actually also one of the most requested conversations on my YouTube and on Instagram via DMs by parents. Because after we did the menstrual chat conversation, they said, oh, okay, sasa umetufundisha. Now we know how to have these conversations with our daughters.
Yeah.
Now the next conversation you need to have is on sexual health, which is what we will be talking about today. Yes, Mukamba?
Yeah.
And while we were going through the topics for the shoot today with Mumbus at home, she said something. Aliniambia, Mom, I want to challenge you and Dr. K. Mumbus, what challenge do you have for us today?
I am still very confident, by the way. If either of you two tell me something that I didn't know before, okay, I'll pay you.
What?
I'll pay you. I'm so confident.
By the way, that
You're
is
serious?
I'm so confident.
Lakini Gen Z. Watatu.
I know, right? By the way, that is exactly what she told me. She told me, Mommy, I'm actually looking forward to this conversation because I don't think there's anything new you're going to tell me. And I was like, hiya. But Mukamba challenge?
Yeah.
Accepted, right? Yes. Yeah, we are ready.
Okay.
We are ready for that conversation. I'm actually very curious to see.
What I know.
No. Like I have an idea of what you know. Yeah, but I'm curious to see if there's something new that will come up that will surprise you.
Okay.
Cynthia?
Yeah.
Hiya, guys. All right. So, as I said, our conversation is on sexual health. And my first question is actually to Miss Mumbus. Mumbus, when we talk about sexual health, what comes to your mind? Since you said there's nothing new we might tell you. What do you understand as the meaning of sexual health?
Anything sex related. Full stop.
Expound a bit more. Ama, that's it.
That's it.
Anything sex related. Okay. All right. All right, Dr. K. Wacha
Yes,
tuende kwa
I'm
msema kweli.
So,
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah.
All right,
no, I
Dr.
have to
K.
be very careful because Mumbus knows things,
She
yeah?
knows
And
things.
I can't assume because, so many people know things that even us we learn. So, anything she says, we will also learn.
Okay.
Because that time mimi na learn kila siku. And I'm
That's
sure there are things that you're learning are
Oh
fresh.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
So, Dr. K, what is sexual health?
Okay, so first of all, you're correct. Anything that is associated with sex.
Nani kama mimi.
Lakini sasa kuna, what is that anything? You know?
Yes, yeah.
So just to make it a bit simpler, I'll divide it into two. Kuna sex na kuna health. Sexual and then there's health.
Yeah.
So if I described what health is the state of being okay or being normal in terms of your emotions, your physicality, spirituality, economically.
Oh.
In different ways. Those are not the things that she's saying, anything that's associated with,
Yeah,
sex.
with sex.
So health is that state of being okay, that state of being health, normal within the acceptable limits of your emotions, your mental health, your mentation, your physicality. It involves no economics, it involves your environment, your social interaction with other people. And then now we ask, what is sexual? Sexual is now that thing of where we have your physicality may depict some level of attraction or interest in. I hope that's something new.
Yeah.
It's something new.
No, it's not.
I know
I
she
so
would
knew
say
that.
that's something new.
I knew that.
Did you?
I knew.
Okay. Right. So it could be a physical attraction or a mental attraction or emotional attraction. So again, it's all encompassing those things around other things that involve this kind of attraction. Right? So it makes a little bit of sense, yeah? So sexual health is that state of being normal or within ordinary in terms of emotion, mentation, physicality, social interaction when it comes to your attraction to a particular person. Yeah, it makes sense, yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it's a wide
topic.
discussion.
Yeah.
So it's not just the physical, because what people know
Is the physical.
The
That's
physical.
true. That's true. That's very true.
And then now we forget that it's also, we can't discuss sexual health without discussing reproductive health because now the physicality is not the reproduction part. Yeah.
All right. So for our conversation today, I thought maybe we could focus on adolescents and teenagers.
Right.
So when we talk about sexual health, what exactly does it mean for this particular age group?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we're doing this because apart from Mumbus, where we've discussed seriously about this reproductive sexual health thing, even before slightly, but now we're going to deeper levels, is that people rarely talk about this.
That's true.
Yeah. And now they can even use this video to even give it to their child, their
Yes,
daughter,
they can
their
watch it with their
son.
children.
Yes. Yeah. So when we're talking about teenagers or adolescent, teenagers we know generally is the ones who are in the teen.
Yes. 13, 14. Yes.
But they're also going through a stage called adolescent. And this stage is where they're developing from, being a girl or a boy into a grown adult. Either female or male. So we discuss about, there's an age group that's between where you hear teen. That's usually the teenage age group. But they are going through a stage called adolescence. And this is a stage where they are developing from being young to a full-grown adult.
Yes.
Yeah. So this particular age group also has issues when it comes to their health. And not just in other things, but their sexual health. Because you're growing, and you're growing emotionally, physically, there are things happening in your body.
Yes.
Something that you don't know. I hope I get the gift, whatever it is. Is that, or maybe I should ask you, do you know what makes you get attracted to another person?
Hormones.
Which ones?
cute. I know.
Well, if you get it, by the way, now I'll be the one buying the gift.
You want the name of the hormone?
Yes.
It starts with an X.
Which one is that?
I don't know.
I thought you were going to give me, but then you were
just
close.
knew this.
But I was like, she's gonna get it right.
Does it start
Does
with an
it
X?
start with a P?
A Y.
A P.
A P.
Because you're saying all the letters that could be in those hormones, but I want to hear at least one. Yes.
S.
That's the name of the
E. There's an E.
Okay.
There's an.
Just mention.
I don't know the name. I don't know the name.
Okay, so that. So
at least a point for
something.
us.
Yeah,
See,
just-
you see? You're
Clap
teaching
for
you
us.
something new.
But I knew
Clap
even
for
when
us.
I'm asking
Those are high
her,
school
for
quiz,
us.
but those Jaffi.
But anyway, she was very close. You know, there's a hormone called oxytocin. You've ever heard of
See, I
oxytocin?
said that.
Yeah.
I said that.
Did you? You said X.
Yeah.
You said X, but you were
Oxy.
close. Actually, oxytocin is on.
Okay, it was a good guess.
But that is
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, maybe now we'll scratch that. Maybe we'll get another thing that you don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so oxytocin. So yes, we have estrogen. You mentioned estrogen. No, you said E. You didn't say estrogen.
You said X, E, S.
They were all there.
I would say A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
G. So estrogen is one of those hormones that what makes you grow from a young girl to a grown woman is estrogen. It's one that makes you have breasts that grow, hips that become wider, your skin becomes more smoother, or maybe you have some pimples,
Yeah.
kidogo. It's okay. You know, and those things that you feel in your body, imagine it affects your feelings, you know. So these teenage and adolescents actually go through stages where they actually feel something sexual about themselves growing, you know. And one of them is now you get attracted to somebody.
Yeah.
And that happens. And
Yeah.
it's normal. It's
very
only normal to feel, oh my God, I'm interested in this person. Yeah.
Should we say their names?
Who? Hey.
Okay, we won't.
Yeah, and for boys, the same thing. As they're growing up, there's that hormone called, it starts with a T.
Testosterone.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Testosterone.
Yeah.
Testosterone is that hormone that makes you male rather than being female. So that testosterone starts to increase as you're becoming, you know, from, you know, that age 12 all the way. For men, boys, it starts later than for girls. Girls from 8, they can start changing. But boys, they're even short, even in high school at the beginning.
Yes.
If you really look at the Form 1s, or maybe these guys know, Form 1, when you're starting something, you're like so small. You're still so small because your testosterone had not picked up by a certain age. But once it does, you sprout suddenly. You're not suddenly tall. You're suddenly breaking your voice. Your voice is changing gradually. And it's not like it just changes to a big buzz. It's just like it's a funny... You know, and then it also has stages, and that is because of the testosterone. So testosterone for men, and then estrogen for women. And what makes you attracted to somebody else is estrogen, and there's also oxytocin and other things like that. You know, there are happy hormones. You know, you've ever heard of happy hormones that make you feel some level of attraction.
Yeah.
So sexual health is still very important in our teenagers. And also the ones who are going through adolescence. And adolescent, again, is not an age. It just starts, you know, gradually, continues on. For girls, you might reach your peak, you know, at around 18, 19, even 16. By 16, you already started your period for most of our girls, yeah? And by that time now, you've, you know, completed your stages. For boys, they might take a bit longer. So they might act, you know, maybe they are fully grown, but you can see their mentation, their emotions, they tend to take a bit longer to develop, you know, that stability as compared to women, even up to the age of 25, 26.
For men?
Yes.
Allah.
Yeah, and that's how you don't understand, because you find maybe some young men acting a certain way. Their life is more of, even up to 25, they're still comparing themselves with other young men and trying to act in a certain way. So, you have to act in a certain way to look like, I'm also, but by the time you're 26 as a girl, it doesn't make sense, you're mature, and it's not putting men down, but sometimes your thoughts and their thoughts might not tally at that time, because of that difference. But after that, then it balances out. So it's a lot.
That's interesting. That makes sense when they say then you should marry someone who's older than you.
It's preferable.
Like much
It's
older.
It's preferable.
Not much older. They say like a 10-year difference. Yeah.
Who says that?
The society.
But again, it depends on you guys. I mean, there's no particular number of a certain thing, because the opposite also happens sometimes, but it depends on the maturity of the person you're with. But again, let's go now into the detailing of what exactly is sexual health for this adolescent. What does it mean? Let's talk about we have emotions.
Yes.
It's only normal to feel emotions. But then I'm switching to Mumbus. If you feel kuna come to pale kana kufurahisha, it is okay. It's normal.
Kako.
Protect.
Mnanipressurize.
We're sorry. But that's very normal to feel a certain way. It's very interesting how my own sister reminded me that sometimes even as a teenager, as you're growing up, when you're growing in your 20s, it's easy to say, I went through a breakup, talk to your friend about it. But not at teenage, you felt something for someone, and then that someone said, don't feel like. When?
Oh, it breaks your heart.
It is serious. It's
Yeah.
And I think the first heartbreak happens.
Yes, it does.
Because it's real. You feel real, whatever it is,
We can relate because you were once teenagers.
Okay, me don't think I've ever been heartbroken.
Don't even.
Have you broken someone's heart?
So that one has already gone through character development. So that thing happens at that time. As we said, sexual health is about your emotions. It's not just physicality. Emotionally, you're going through something. So someone can hurt you in your first few, years. You're 15, you're 16, and maybe you're a boy. And the first thing is you usually they start with trying to make you upset, as a girl when they like you.
That's true.
And that's the
logic?
normal reaction for them. They feel like the only way they can get you attraction or so you to see them is to just
Bully them.
bully you.
It's true.
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
I don't know. It's the hormones again. That testosterone tells them, let me bully this girl because their attention is on you. That's the point. But they don't know how to handle it, So you feel this person hates me, or maybe even like them, but you're like, they hate me, and that's the first heartbreak most people usually experience in their teenagehood, or let's say adolescent when they're still growing, even in their 20s. And then, of course, now the physicality comes in, where, you're changing.
Yes.
You have things changing everywhere. And then now you have emotions involved in this, And then now you're attracted to somebody else. So when you're having a boy who's attracted to someone, they will also have some funny things happening to themselves. You'll hear someone saying they were sleeping at night and then they woke up in the morning. And
What is it called?
Is that something you didn't know?
No, I knew.
What?
What are they called? That thing they experience at night.
Proceed.
No, come on, Mumbus.
She's talking. You can let the guest talk.
Okay, so I'll take it for her. So they're called wet dreams.
I said that.
No,
you did not.
You didn't. So wet dreams are also normal. Because it's just the physical nature of, attraction, and it's only normal to react that way. Most of them will go through it. Some might not experience, but most of our young men will actually go through it at some point in their lives. Not even, and I said adolescent can be even up to 24. 26, So they also have that wet dream. They dream about someone, and then they're surprised in the morning. Oh,
what happened?
What just happened?
Yes.
Yeah. And it is expected.
It is
so
normal.
Yeah. And this is maybe somewhere we also never talk about. So who do they tell?
I know.
Who washes their sheets?
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe some might not be able to explain. They just remove the sheets, wash, or maybe not wash them at all.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the things that can happen, you know. And then, of course, now for the girls, you feel something, but there's a difference between how you feel and whether you act on it. You know?
Yeah.
So, in fact, let me just make it clear. What we discuss here is within the Kenyan laws, there's something called comprehensive sexual education. And right now, there's even a full document that's being made currently about what we discuss with our young girls and our young boys. Because, first of all, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I believe that they need to know.
They do.
Yeah.
For sure, yes.
Not because they don't know. They know. There's something they know. Like Mumbus said, tell me what you don't know, what I don't know.
Yeah.
And I like that. I really like that because it's like, what else are you teaching me that's different?
Yes.
You know, for me, I was shocked. What do you say? What? So, yeah. The Kenyan law has given us some level of acceptability of what we discuss. And in my view, now this is my personal view, I believe that we need to discuss it and say exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
And when I talk about sex, I'm talking about the physicality and emotions and all those things. But again, the thing that we are talking about also is the acting on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that acting on it. So acting on it is that thing. We discussed it in the last video.
Yes.
How sex happens and when should be ready and why you should be ready. When it's not a bad thing. Sex is not a bad thing. It was actually ordained by God.
Yeah.
For those ones who believe it was ordained by God as a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But it was put in a context of marriage rather than when you're out of marriage.
Yeah.
And why I agree with that is because it's true. Because in marriage, you can handle the things that come with sex.
That's true.
But out of marriage, you can't handle the things.
Yes.
Not all those things you can handle out of marriage. For example, you remember when we were talking about what are the effects of sex? Other than the good effects, of course, you enjoy yourself. It's a form of exercise, helps you with your meditation and all those things.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it out of a setup that is ready for you, what happens? You remember those things?
Yeah.
First, you can either, and that's, in fact, I'm even happy you said pregnancy.
Yeah.
Pregnancy when you're alone, this is the real deal, guys, by the way.
The truth.
It's the truth.
Yes.
Pregnancy when you're single, and it happens to all of us, even the ones who are in your 30s.
Yes.
Yeah, pregnancy when you're single, that time you're pregnant, first of all, it's anxiety inducing. Yeah,
It is.
Even when you're married,
Yeah.
it's anxiety inducing. It puts you in a position where you're like, okay, I thought I was ready, but oh my God.
Yes.
These 2 lines on this thing.
Yeah.
How am I ready for this? How will I take care of a baby? The baby comes with many things,
A lot of responsibilities.
Yeah. Your time, your emotions. And I'm sure Mumbus knows from, because you've experienced it. Even shopping for that baby before the baby comes is a whole different story.
Yeah.
I was looking at someone putting a list of baby things. Oh my God. And I was like, this is more than almost 200,000.
Oh, wow.
You have to prepare it. Yeah.
Lucky them.
I made you broke.
Oh, you did.
Way.
And let me tell you, back then, we did not have money. Because actually, I remember where we could only afford to buy, I think it was 3 rompers from Biashara Street back then. Because now Biashara Street was
It's serious.
it was which is the most expensive shop, It was the Gucci store of baby clothes.
Yeah.
But everything else tulienda Gikomba kununua huko. Ndio
Let me
nanunua
tell
ya
you,
20 bob,
it's real.
30 bob ya nini.
I gave you many
Babies are
experiences. You should
expensive.
thank me.
It's not cheap.
Thank you.
For
But I
changing
should
you.
do.
Yeah.
High five, Mkamba.
Sorry.
And you remember mom had dad at that time.
Yes.
So there's that one. If you're 18, let's say you're even 10 years, because that can happen.
We've had cases
unfortunately.
of kids getting pregnant when
Yeah.
they're 9 years old, 10
Yeah.
years old. Yeah.
Where do you get the money? First, you have to be ready financially, emotionally,
Physically, mentally.
You can't even give
There's
birth
a
when you're
lot.
10 years.
Yeah.
You know, you're
It has
just,
to
you have
be a
not
CS.
developed. You've not, your hips have not widened. So you will end up going for a cesarean section.
Yeah.
You know how much a cesarean section costs?
I can imagine now. Guys, $500,000? How much is it?
Yes, it is around that much. In fact,
Oh my God.
And most insurances will not cover that full amount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
a 10 years old Mukamba.
They will not.
I cannot.
And anybody who's watching right now should know, if you're planning to get pregnant, get insurance before you get pregnant.
And way in advance, right?
Way in advance
Yeah.
before you get pregnant. Because when
Yeah.
you're pregnant, you can't get the insurance. They say, I'm not
Yes.
sick, so I get insurance for when I get sick.
Yes.
Not when I'm sick, you get insurance. It doesn't
True.
work that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that is
Like
how
insurance
insurance
fund.
works.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not ready for a pregnancy. What's the second thing that can happen?
STIs.
Hey, watcha tu. Sexually transmitted infections.
Yes.
Hey, clearly we were learning. Cindy. STIs are those things that, you know, when they happen, you can't ignore. Because some of them are just, first of all, embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing because they just look funny. And you can't even, like, they might stay with you forever.
For a long time.
You know, things like herpes, HIV, you know, some of them develop into cervical cancer, you know, like HPV infection. And then there's some that are just too painful to stay at home at Itaisha. You
when
take
you're
yourself to the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah. So STIs are just those things. And then some of them affect your fertility later on in life and all those things. Yeah?
Yeah.
Then another thing that happens with sex is the fact that now, we talked about pregnancy. So there are people who have to use ways to prevent pregnancy. Can you imagine using something at 16
Yeah.
that will inhibit your, you know, like there's some that are long term. So they affect you when you want to get pregnant. You don't get pregnant at the time you want to get pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, so imagine you're alone.
You're doing all that alone. By yourself.
Because, you know, the guy will not, is not ready either.
And you can't, well,
The one who's still
we
living
want to
at
say
home.
you can't blame them, but
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
the
carrying the
reality.
baby, so they
they
can,
don't understand. They're
they
not
can-
feeling what you're feeling. The
they
connection.
can run.
Yeah.
They have no attraction to the baby because they have no communication.
Yeah.
Again, they are detached. Even
that's true.
adults are also detached.
Yeah.
Men are detached to pregnancies. Only you feel the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So imagine being single. The guy has said, I can't. Na ni ukweli tu, hawezi. Anaishi nyumbani bado anapata wet dreams. huko.
Imagine.
Hata
Maybe
washi-
akako 14 years old. What does he know about being a
Hajui,
responsible father?
hajui,
He don't know
and they're not
nothing.
ready for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandably, but it's not an excuse, you know. So they just leave because they can. So you go through another breakup.
Yeah.
With a pregnancy, you know, and then now with a pregnancy, you can decide. There are people who go and do abortions out there. Out there is because it's not within the law.
The Kenyan
know?
law does not allow.
Yeah, it does not allow abortions.
Yeah.
You know, only in particular settings.
Yes.
And those are acceptable settings. Like if you have an abnormal, you know, pregnancy,
Yeah.
or the pregnancy is gonna kill you, or, you know, it was incest and all
Yeah.
those things. Those are the times when they can allow. But even that, you discuss it at length before
the
you
doctor
can do
before
that,
they can
because
agree.
one is gonna kill the other, you know. So, but if you're healthy, even if you're a small child, you still keep the pregnancy
Yeah.
because you go and do abortion, and then what happens? You die. And then that's the end of the life,
Yeah.
you know. So we can't, you know, when you're single, when you're small,
When you're young.
you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes with financial implications. Apart from going to see a doctor because you've started having sex because you got an STI, or because now you need contraception.
Yeah.
How will you even walk into a doctor's office at 15 years?
And say you need
You know,
contraception
at
15
where
years.
does the law allow us?
Yeah.
And that's why this group is so important to us, that we need them to know that if you engage in sex early, because it's early,
Yeah.
the truth is the matter, it's early,
Yeah.
then how will you handle some of these things? You know, yes, you can come to us. That, by the way, feel free to come to us because we can we can help.
Yes.
But again, unakuja kwa Dr. K tena, unachajua consultation.
Yes.
Ingine, then it becomes so difficult to even approach it because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
I think money also plays a very big role in why we also don't start too early.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But now in a setup where you're grown, you're like, okay, a baby can come because I'm ready. I have my husband or partner, preferably if you're in a marriage situation, because only marriage can handle some of these things. It's
Why
true.
are you looking at me like that?
I wouldn't have been if you waited till marriage.
Okay.
Well, that's the truth. We cannot deny it.
But it couldn't have been easy.
Yeah, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah, it wasn't. And even in marriage, it's not.
You've heard a bit of my story. You know, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. A baby comes with a lot of dynamics.
A lot of responsibilities.
Yeah. And even in...
It's okay, Mkamba. It wasn't your fault.
No. Yeah, it wasn't your fault.
You are a blessing.
And babies, by they are not at fault. Kabisa. And that's why you need to be adult to know that they're not at fault.
Exactly. Yes.
But in a setup where you're grown, you have your own finances, you're more emotionally intelligent because you're beyond adolescent, then it becomes easier for you to handle some of these things. You can afford a romper, at least you could buy. You can be able to handle even emotions that come with pregnancy. And especially if your husband is there, or partner or wife, when they're there, sometimes you need them. You need their presence.
That's true, yes.
Yeah, you need their presence.
You
but
need
when
help.
you're alone, it's very difficult. So in the Kenyan law, or in the context, we have something called comprehensive sexual education, where we talk about there are different types. And I think I had mentioned it earlier that we try to advocate for don't do sex before
Marriage.
abstinence.
Yeah.
Abstinence. Abstinence is the only way you prevent STIs. 100%.
Yeah.
Pregnancy, 100%. Except Mary, mother of Jesus. That's the only one. That's the only virgin birth. No one should lie to you that, CG, I did.
There's nothing like that.
There's nothing like that. It's best abstinence would always be number one in Kenya. But why I say my opinion is you need to know so that you know why it's important to abstain. It's not easy. I promise you. It's not easy. Those emotions, oxytocin, my friend. Yeah.
That's true. It's making you feel
It's not
all
gonna
sorts
be
of
easy.
things. Yeah.
No, it's not gonna be easy. And especially when you're moving you're going to high school, and now this is where you're going, is where you'll see now an adult male, because you're growing, and you're now an adult female, and you can decide for yourself, and you can think for yourself.
Yeah.
But are you good at negotiating with yourself when it comes to can
and
I hug
making the
this
right
person? Not just sex
decisions.
doesn't start with just
The action.
Inaanzanga it starts with umemuona macho kwanza. You see?
Yeah.
And by the way, that's true. You see? You like their scent.
Yeah.
You like their voice. Because
Even
that's
the way
now
they are walking.
the
Their
way they are
nails.
walking.
You like them sometimes. the most.
Cleanliness.
Weird
By the way,
things.
cleanliness is important. Guys, if you're dirty or you're sweaty, I mean, that's not gonna work. So those kind of things, if they start that way with your senses, it starts with the thought. And the thought starts with you've seen, you've heard the voice, you've smelt nice, it's all senses. Alafu mshikane mkono.
Bas. Sparks.
That's where it is. And then now you have spikes of these hormones that we're talking about. That's normal. But the thing is, you need to know how to negotiate with yourself. Negotiate with, is it, when am I going to hold this? Because you know, it's going to be holding hands, then a side hug, or maybe not a side hug. These days it's just a direct hug.
Yeah.
Kidogo. That hug takes like 20 minutes. And then that turns into something else. It's hard. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and I knew that one, by the way.
That one you did not know.
I'm sure there are things
I
you're
knew.
learning.
No.
Learned anything new.
It's true. It's true. It's gonna be hard, but you can know how to negotiate with yourself because the effects. If you cross this border, let's say someone who's not abstinent, once you cross that border, it's hard to go back.
That's true.
It's not easy to practice secondary virginity. Because unajua how it is. And then you survived. You survived. You just didn't get pregnant. You didn't get an STI. You didn't get what? You're like, I'm good. Alafu ongeze, ukifika university ongeze kitu inaitwa alcohol. Na ka smoking kidogo. Kidogo, your guards are down. And then it becomes a consistent thing, so where you cannot be able to stop because now you believe that if I don't have sex with this one, I don't know them, which is not true. In fact, it blinds you.
Very true.
You don't even know this person because you've been blinded by the whole fact that you've gone all physical. So it's better to still remain abstinent. In case someone is not, then we have that one where we say, okay, so this has happened. We can't take it back. But we have to forgive ourselves because, it comes with a lot of, lying and there are things that happen with when you go physical. You forgive yourself and then move on because you just have to move on. You can't dwell in the past and then you can practice abstinence. You can still go back. It's still possible because kuna wengine Mumbus, si wewe, wengine wako inje, same age, who have already gone to the other side, Mungu atasaidia because you're listening to this right now. It's possible to go back and practice abstinence, okay? And we hope that they do, right? If you have a problem with not going back because they were abused, because there are people who start early because they were abused for one reason or another, and then, because of emotions, again, mental health, they are now into sexual practices, even at age 17, 16. The debut of this country, sexual debut is very young. Before we used to be at 21. Now we are at 18, 16 for girls. Okay. Boys, it's a bit later. But for girls, it's earlier because they're interacting with older boys. Because they're the ones who they can reason with at that point. And
they said sexual what?
Debut. Beginning.
I knew that.
Start having sex.
I knew that.
That's a new
whatever
one.
it is that you're giving me. It's early, and we're trying to tell people you don't need to do this. I mean, you have the rest of your life. You don't need to start at this point. Just concentrate on what you need to concentrate on. And then later on, when you're ready, that's when you get into it, So I would suggest that if you know you're already on it, then go back to abstinence. It will really, really help. Even taking that break, it's not easy, but it's possible. Nothing is impossible. And then now for those ones who are consistently, sometimes they might need a lot of help. Not just by the gynecologist, but also maybe as someone who can counsel them. Because even in my foundation, we have some girls who have to go through, because now there's something called sexual addiction, even for younger people. They need counselors. And counselors now come in when they can help you go through it, find out what in the past made you be like this, because they say, I can't stop. Maybe this is happening, that kind of a thing. So they need counselors. You might need gynecologists to help you. In the meantime, as we do that, now this is the big question. How do we help them prevent pregnancy? How do we help them prevent STIs? In our contest, even in Kenya right now, giving contraception to younger girls under 18 is still illegal. They need to know that. So I cannot protect you from some of these things at a certain age.
So what
difficult,
happens?
Right?
Yeah,
it's difficult because now imagine you're here, you're having sex, but how do I help you not get pregnant? Because first of all, we have different ethical reasons as to why we don't start early, and it's in the law. Like your gynecologist can get into trouble because of giving you contraception. So those are the things that now is a big discussion because we involve spiritual leaders, our traditions and all those things. And then there's this thing called an emancipated minor, but now it's within the law. This emancipated minor, which is also not very clear in Kenya, emancipated means he or she is young, but they have to take care of themselves.
Okay.
So they are like an adult. Either they were married early. Some
Yeah.
of them, like some tribes, they get married early. They already get children. They have 3 children at 18.
Yeah.
How do you help them? Do you ignore the fact that they're already married? They'll still go back to their husbands.
husband, yeah.
And then there are others who, they can prove that their parents or whoever did not take care of them and they can take care of themselves. So you find there's that particular group of people who can be able to access some of these things. But again, it's not very clear. The negatives as to if you get into physical act, then it gets you into positions that are very difficult. But that's why we give you this information. Use it all, and then you decide. But again, you decide. You have to learn as you grow. You can't learn when you're young. You have to learn when you reach 20. See, the men back at 26 bado hawajafika, so they still need some help. And then they don't use contraception. They don't use they don't get the STIs that are usually visible are mostly on women. Not that the men don't have it; they're carrying and they can give you, but as
it mostly affects the women.
It shows up in the women. Men don't necessarily show up with that discharge or whatever, and when it does, it's bad. It's by the time it's you can already see this is gonorrhea for men by the time they're having discharge. But if they're not having, then you'll never know.
That's true.
So it's a big topic. It's a big topic, but I hope it will help most people reason out. I don't know whether it helps you, Mumbus. Has it made a difference? Because the last time we just talked about what is this? Are you ready for it? And this, but now the nitty-gritties of, boyfriend yangu ako ready ata. Where? You have to think, negotiation skills is important. You have to negotiate with yourself first. Because there are these girls also in the lakeside who were known to have sexual intercourse with bike riders. Because they don't have money. And then, see money where it comes in. They give them pads to have sex.
Imagine.
Does it even make sense?
It's so sad, right?
Sasa, when will you need pads when you're pregnant? And then this guy has already gone. And that time amekuachia some STI that is lifelong. Can you imagine? Now you have to explain to everyone you meet after that, including maybe the husband or the wife, that you got something.
I have this disease and this is how I got it.
If you're nice enough to even tell them, it's unfortunate that happens. So, and also even still in the lake region, they used to exchange food, fish. You nipatie chakula, I take to my children, I'll have intercourse with you. Then that becomes again another problem because, the economy and all that. But I would say if you're a teenager, an adolescent, feel free to talk about this. Let whoever that you're comfortable with know that you're going through this. It's okay to also talk about a breakup. But again, talk to someone will not judge you. Because we judge young.
We do.
You have a boyfriend. Oh my God.
You're in class.
You're in class 6. Oh my God, umeanza mapema. That kind of statement makes you feel like you're abnormal. But you've not done it. And most of the time, you've not done nothing.
Actually, and it's exactly like everything you're feeling is exactly what you're meant to be feeling at that age because you're growing up.
And it's okay. And it's okay. Now, whether you act on it, that's what makes all the difference.
And that one is entirely up to you.
A different thing.
Yes. Kabisa. But I like how you've broken it down. So, comprehensive sex education in Kenya. You can see it's broken down into 3 parts. Abstinence.
So comprehensive sexual health, education is internationally is just called CSE, but now it depends on where you are, where you use the 3 different parts of it. So in Kenya, at the beginning, we had abstinence only. Abstinence only.
Usifanye hicho kitendo kambali. But you're not telling them why.
Videos of STIs.
I remember those
Yeah,
in primary.
you also watched.
Oh my god, they were the most scary videos
Ooh,
ever.
something is
Ulikuwa
falling
unaonyeshwa
off.
mtu ako na gonorrhea,
Gonorrhea,
syphilis, like
syphilis.
they were the
Walai.
worst.
That's legal.
Hey, we were I was shown even in church. They
was
called
in school,
us
by the
and
way,
they
in
put
primary
it.
school.
And it's that famous video by Raphael Tuju.
Yes.
Maybe people should go and watch.
That one.
We all
That was the video. Here everybody can relate. Mnakumbuka hiyo?
High school.
Oh, sisi
We
ilikuwa
did.
primary school. Yeah.
And it was so scary because it's I can never do this ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So you're put in a situation where you're scared.
Yeah.
Scared.
Actually, their tactic was to scare us.
But then your things will fall off.
Yeah.
Because of sex.
So actually, that is what they would show us and then tell us. Now, if you have sex, this is what is going to happen to you.
Yeah. Question is, did it help us?
It did to some extent because you were very scared.
At least, at least during that time, the sexual debut, the beginning was like 21, 22. So you're frightened out of yourself,
Yeah.
But now, because we saw that when you discuss this, you're so stringent that you forget that there's a group of people that's left out.
Yeah.
So right now, we're still reviewing. There'll be a document coming out. I don't know whether they'll still call it Abstinence Plus, but there's abstinence only, which was what we were taught in school. And in fact, even when we were in class 6, I remember CRE, they just taught us how you're growing, that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
There's no more discussion, But then there's Abstinence Plus, where you say, okay, so we're talking about abstinence. Let's talk about abstinence.
Yeah.
But if you were not abstinent before, we try and return you back into abstinence.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what abstinence plus.
Plus. Okay.
Yeah. And then now there's now comprehensive. Comprehensive now is where you find some other countries, they'll talk about contraception. It's like what I have done, but in the laws, we still stick to abstinence. The way I did, I returned you back to abstinence.
Yes.
We try say abstinence. If you're not abstinent, can we go back to abstinence, guys?
Yes.
But then there's some places.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Europe and all this. They're not talking about just abstinence plus.
Yeah, that's true. They
Going
will
to-
give you all the information. Actually, in some of these countries,
Yeah, and they even give you
they-
contraception.
from 12 years. Yeah.
So, and then within the laws of that country, they also offer things like abortion,
Yeah.
which in our country is illegal. They allow, 60, when you're 16 years, you could be counted as an adult,
Yeah.
make decisions, get married, Yet, even in our country, sometimes we have tribes
That
and
do allow
cultures that marry
yeah.
early, which again is in those countries they believe is sexual abuse
Yeah.
of children. Yeah, so it's still a big discussion. Those are the three things: abstinence only, abstinence plus, and it's not comprehensive. Now the one fully we discuss everything. So I've tried to give you more of the information that you need to know. Kuna zingine you learn ukifika 21 plus.
Yeah. We say this conversation is continuing.
Tutaendelea
Tutaendelea
tu tukifika kwa 21
Yes.
plus
Sasa
discussion
tunaanza hiyo.
changes
Yes.
to something else because we need to keep you healthy. And that's the whole point of sexual health education.
Oh wow. How does that sound?
Umesoma
Kamba?
kitu.
Umesoma
First
kitu.
of all,
Did you learn
I
something
knew
new?
everything that she said.
Really?
Kila
Oxytocin.
kitu.
Let's be honest. What do you
That
think?
was beneficial. I know now. Thank you very much for having
Be
me.
abstinent.
To be abstinent.
What do you know?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think, yeah.
Come
It's, yeah.
It's not easy. It's
Yeah,
not easy.
yeah.
Yeah. I believe now the whole point is
You get the information.
you get the
You have
information.
the
As you're growing, you
Yeah.
decide for yourself. Yeah. But as you decide for yourself, know that there's consequences if you start earlier. Cindy, if you're willing to go through that, I mean, you're a human being, you decide.
Yeah.
But you need to know. Zingine zinakupeleka mental health.
Zinakupeleka sana.
You go crazy, you know, because you're not ready for any of these things. But now when you're in a position when you're ready for it, even when you're in your 30s, you're still not ready for some of these things, right? And man, if someone gets even an STI, they're not ready for it. They're not ready.
Actually, you first, as much as you know, you have the information. It's still one of those things that hata kwenda kwa daktari ni shida. Na ukitaka kwenda kwa daktari unataka kujificha, hata sikwambie, watu wasijue. So
unangoja nyumbani. And maybe sometimes it's not even an STI. It could be a simple candida infection, which is giving you some, you know, discharge that looks scary. You feel like you're going to die. And the itch is bad. You know, so it's good to just get the right information. If you're in doubt, of course, don't be afraid. Information is power. Get to a gynecologist near you. Let them have a discussion even with your child. Because in our time, even until today, I was able to discuss some things with my mom when I got above 25, not below. So getting this information right now is one of the best things that at least you know where you are. At least you'll not get into mental health issues because you've saved yourself from some of these issues.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. K. That was a very good conversation. But now to wrap it up, in case any of our children out there, any of our parents would like a bit more information about this conversation, or maybe they have their children who are in the different groups that you've mentioned. Maybe they're abstinence plus, or they need a bit more information on the comprehensive education part. How can they reach you? Because you mentioned Dr. K Foundation. I know it's called Dr. K Foundation because I'm a big fan. But maybe you can give us a bit more information about that. Okay,
so I founded the Dr. K Foundation. Actually, we started this year, but we've been there longer, only that we're certified this year. It's mainly for young people, this age group, actually, and we discuss everything. This is where now, because you can reach us, and it's not just me, because I can't do it alone. I have gynecologists, I have psychiatrists, psychologists in the same group. There's also dermatologists, because the same issues, we face, it's all in that group. We're on Instagram. Mine is K Muthembwa. Dr. K Foundation is DRK Foundation _. It's also on Instagram. You can just join, and then we have WhatsApp group. Groups. The first WhatsApp group is for the under 21 years. We have from the age 16 to 21, because between 16 and 21, that's a very I think even Mumbus had not reached the time we started. She was not yet. So we are between 16 and 21. That's the youngest group I have. I still don't have the younger ones because, again, the regulations of access to phones and all that, and also what we discuss is very tricky. It's better I meet them. I meet them physically, But between 16 and 21, we can discuss some of these things. But the discussion there is different from the group which is over 21.
Oh, there's under 21
and under 21 and over 21. Under 21 is just girls for now. We will add the boy child very soon.
At some
I
point,
need more mentors, more men mentors. Because I won't understand exactly what they go through. So I'm able to mentor the younger girls easier. But now the over 21 is all
inclusive
inclusive of men,
boys and girls.
Men. Now they are men and women. Where we discuss totally different things, where we're talking about protection from pregnancy, STIs, and all these things. For under 21, we're now still abstinence plus. But they still need to know what they need. They need to know why I'm telling them abstinence plus or abstinence. And then we deal with these things because periods, those two things that affect them, discharge here and there, how to keep themselves clean, how to, and then of course mental health is very important. So we discuss these things. So that's the Dr. K Foundation. My office is in IPS building, Kimathi Street. There's a number on my Instagram that you can use.
We're actually going to leave all that information here on
Yeah.
the screen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also on the description box, so they
Yes.
can also check the information there.
Yeah.
We'll add the links to Dr. K's, the foundation, her personal
Yeah.
Instagram page, whatever information you need, we will give you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And anyone who asks questions, we keep it anonymous. Even on the chat, I allow them to ask on my sidebar. Then if they allow me to rewrite the question in the group, we discuss it together.
Okay.
That's how we do it. We help each other that way. But there's some who are okay putting their, not their information, but their questions there, where we discuss things. We have webinars and also meetups. Yeah, this year we had a walk for menstrual hygiene day. Yeah, on the 27th. Actually, it's 28th, but we did it on the 27th of May. So we have many activities that usually we do. Where we improve your knowledge on these things.
Awesome. And you're willing to accept new members?
Yes,
To both groups?
Yes.
So we can share that information.
Right.
I will give you, check the description box. Itakuwa na hiyo information yote. Wow, thank you so much, Dr. K.
Yeah,
I think
thank
that
you.
was a very lovely session. I did learn a few new things. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
You did as well. All right, Dr. K, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We have another conversation that we need to have, so I will be in touch.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
another
you.
conversation that we need to have.
Thank you.
Yes, the fourth conversation. Tunaenda tukizinamba hivyo until zifike mwisho. Anyway, if you have any questions for Dr. K in the moment, of these, anything you'd like to ask, talk to us in the comment section, because you can always go through the comments and see what people are asking.
Yes,
right?
yes. I'm able to respond, yeah?
Yes, you're
that's
able
what
to
it is,
respond, yeah. So thank you so much, guys. Dr. K, until next time. Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.